Hello, I am recording this to document my journey through all this and to maybe give perspective to what I've been going through for these last few months. In the baby's room, the baby's playing with his toys right there. Um, Today is March 12th, and I have been going through chemo, as a lot of people know, since October. And was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Baby, baby, come here. Come here, where are you going? There he is. Who's that beautiful boy? Who's that beautiful boy? Oh, here he comes. There's mommy's beautiful boy. Hi, sweet guy. Come here. Oh, and he walks. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So anyways, I was diagnosed uh September, in the end of September, because what happened was I was at work and I had my chest was in pain. I was in pain in my chest, pretty bad, and I just kept letting it go. And then one day it got so bad at work, I decided to see my regular doctor, who I've never seen. I should mention I'm right at that point. I was 4 years in remission from breast cancer. 4 years prior, where I had a double mastectomy, as well as chemo. Lost all my hair, just grew it all back. Was just getting back to normal life. Anyways, back to me being at work. After I got out of work, not after I got out of work, but one day I went to go see my regular doctor. He pretty much pushed on my chest where the pain was and told me it was residual pain from, sorry, my lips are really dry, from having a residual cold. Now, I've never even had a cold, so I don't even know what he was talking about. But whatever, they're doctors, we aren't. So I just chopped it up to it being a cold and went about my day. And he said in a couple weeks, it would resolve itself. I should be fine. From there, waited about 3, 4 more weeks, and the pain seemed to be getting worse. And it got so worse, I ended up going to urgent care after work one day. So like a month later, I ended up going to urgent care, and urgent care, the doctors gave me an X-ray, and because I said it was a pain in my chest again, and he gave me an X-ray, and the X-ray showed fluid in my chest, and they said I have pneumonia. Okay, cool. Like, give me the meds, and so I can go about my day, and get better finally, because the pain was getting irritating, and it was getting worse and worse. So I took all, it's a Z-Pack, and I took it all, and nothing. No, the pain didn't subside. In fact, it got much worse. I waited another couple weeks, so about 2 more weeks after that. It was so bad at work, I literally left and I came home. I had to pick up the baby from daycare, dropped him off with my husband, and went straight to the emergency room because the pain was so bad. It was like literally in tears. I went to the ER, and luckily they took all the blood tests right away and took me seriously finally. Did a CT scan, and the blood test came out showing extremely high levels of different blood tests, and one was a marker for a blood clot in your lungs. So they thought I had a blood clot in my lungs and sent me straight off to CT scan. CT scan ultimately showed I had about 7, 8 tumors in my chest. And I was told just to follow up with he says it looks like it's a residual cancer from the last cancer you had. It just came back in your chest wall. And to follow up with your oncologist. Mind you, I have went back to my normal life. I hadn't seen my oncologist in about 2 years. So if you ever get through cancer and you think you're in remission, follow up with your doctor. It's very important. I only followed up with him for not even 2 years because I just want to get back to normal. I have 5 kids. Well, now 5 kids. I just had a baby. When all this was happening, when I went to the emergency room and all that, I just got back. I just went back on maternity leave. So my baby was like 5 months old at this time. And I was just trying to live life. But, that's not how it always works. So, getting back to my story, was that I was told just to go follow up my oncologist. So I haven't seen my oncologist in about 2 years. So I felt like I was slacking on that, and I should have been following up with him in the first place. So I love my oncologist. He got me in right away. Unfortunately, he was on vacation for the next 2 weeks. When I called, he just that day started his vacation. It was gonna be gone for 2 weeks, so I saw his partner. She was very nice, and she ordered MRI, a PET scan, all that. So I was put through a PET scan, and different imaging, um, and blood tests, and all the cancer markers came back super elevated, uh, and it showed cancer in my, um, well, it was just at this point, cancer was in my chest and the bottom of my lung nodules, and what the fluid was, it was metastatic pleural effusion. That's what it is. I didn't know what this was. Of course, you go to Google, and I Googled it, and metastatic pleural effusion. I don't like that word. Pleural effusion. It gives you a horror story. It says like you have only 3 to 6 months or whatever it is. And I started freaking out. And before I got a chance to even talk to my oncologist, I, Dr. Googled everything and found out what was going on myself. Anyways, the on-call oncologist sent me to get my lungs drained. I had to get that it would help a lot. She said if I got it drained, the fluid, or it was, what happened was there's a pleural space in between your lungs and your chest cavity, and there was fluid built up there due to all the cancer that was there. It caused fluid buildup, and I had to get that drained. That was what's causing me to be short of breath, which at the time I didn't feel short of breath, but I did. But the most thing was the pain. Like the only thing I could focus on was the pain. So I ended up going to the hospital. Everything happened so fast. Like my oncologists don't play. They don't play around. They had me in for the PET scan like the next day. They had me in for blood tests the next day. They had me in for a pleural effusion a couple days later. Let me tell you, pleural effusion, or it's called a thoracentesis actually, for the pleural effusion. Thoracentesis is where they put a needle in between your rib cage and drain the fluid out. It was not fun at all. It had hurt really bad. But they got the fluid out, and it didn't let up the pain. But luckily, they gave me pain meds to manage my pain, and that helped tremendously. It just made me extremely groggy and tired. So I started getting frustrated due to the fact that now I'm just tired. I walk around as a zombie. Just, yeah, the pain's gone, but now I'm a zombie. I literally can't keep my eyes open. And from there, I had to get thoracentesis 4 more times at the hospital. And this is all since October, and now we're in March. So pretty much after that, let's say by December, so October to December, I had 4 thoracentesis, and I started chemo. They put a port in me, of course, again. Here's what the port looks like. This is my first scar the first time, and that's now the scar, and then this is the port right here. I go to chemo weekly. Well, I have 2 weeks on and 1 week off. So I go the first week, I was getting 3 chemos. The second week, I got 2 chemos, and immunotherapy, and then the third week I was head off for a break. Hi, there he is. My goofy guy. Yeah, hi, who's that? Okay, back to mommy story. Okay, there I am. Okay, so yeah, everything happened so fast. So my oncologist by this point came back to the 2 weeks later. I met up with him. We went over scans. Now at this time, I noticed while I was waiting for my oncologist to come back, my neck, the back of my neck, like back here, right here, started hurting, and I thought I pulled a muscle in the back of my neck. It was very painful. I couldn't sleep. I just walk around. I had a heating pad. I literally just laid down with a heating pad on the back of my neck all the time. And then I noticed also there was a huge lump back there. The lump, I'd say, is the size of 50-cent piece, maybe. It was pretty big. It is definitely noticeable, and it hurt really bad. So that was actually a few days before I saw my oncologist. And then I saw my oncologist when he got off his vacation. His name is Dr. Cuevas. Great guy. Like, I won't ever go anywhere else. He's great. He gets on the test right away and gets everything done stat. So it gets done right away. Anyways, so I saw him and we went over to scans and he felt my neck and he said, I was thinking he was going to say pulled muscle in the back of my neck because I just slept wrong and I had a pulled muscle. He said, no, it's a cancerous lymph node. He didn't even have to scan it. He already knew. It was a lymph node in the back of the neck with cancer in it. So we went over scans and it showed the nodules, bottom nodules of my lungs had cancer in it. My chest wall, 7, 8 tumors. I don't know how many. And now my lymph node in the back of my neck. From there, chemo. I was getting Keytruda, Gemzar, and carboplatin. Carboplatin is supposed to be really harsh. Keytruda is immunotherapy, so you don't have pretty much any side effects. And it was up in the air if I was going to lose my hair, because my hair was extremely long at this point. Everyone who knows me knows how long my hair was. It was 50-50. You could lose your hair, but honestly, I didn't care at that point. I already lost it once. Who cares if I lose it again? It's just hair. But I didn't end up losing my hair, but I did end up, it did end up falling out pretty bad, shedding a lot, and it was everywhere. It was in the food I was cooking, so I decided to cut it pretty short. I kind of wanted to go for pixie, but okay, well, this will do too. I've had this for a month or two now. Not too bad. In the beginning it was pretty bad. I was, sleeping a lot, not eating. I wasn't eating. I had no appetite. I was just sleeping. Pain. I had pain, I'd say, till December. And then you could tell. It's amazing how from October to December with chemo, which are 3 that they were giving me, it was 2 chemos and 1 immunotherapy. I could tell that it was working due to my neck pain stopped hurting, and then thank God my chest pain went away completely. I was telling my oncologist, like, I'm taking less and less pain pills, and then eventually I stopped taking pain medication altogether. So that was, it's truly amazing when you can know that the chemo is working without having any scans because the pain is going away. So that was December, and then we got another PET scan, and baby's playing and falling over. You okay, baby? Oh. And then where was I? I got a PET scan in December, and in December everything looked good. Everything seemed to be shrinking. Now, because this lymph node was not included on the original scan, remember I went to go see him, and then he told me by just feeling it that it was cancerous lymph node. He told me, it was definitely cancer on a CT scan. It showed up, but we had a baseline, because he just felt it. But I know me personally, me feeling it, knowing the size of it, it definitely got smaller. So now it's about the size of maybe a dime right now. So it's like the size of a dime. It went away completely. I don't know what's going on. The pain kind of coming back in my neck and my chest. The chest pain has been coming back. But anyways, back to CT scan. Everything was shrinking. Everything was doing good. The doctor says, yeah, as far as changing meds or keeping it on the same, my numbers weren't coming up. Even though I wasn't taking it too harsh, the chemo, I was not really getting sick. I was down for a day or 2 and then I'd be back up. My legs hurt. I felt very achy, like a truck hit me. But that's a day or 2 and then I'm fine. You hear all these stories about people on chemo that are throwing up for days, can't eat, can't swallow, so I'm thinking to myself, it could be a lot worse. So I just keep trucking through it. But apparently, a couple times during chemo, my numbers were so low they couldn't give me chemo. And then the last time I had chemo, they took me off for 2 weeks completely, so that I didn't end up needing a blood transfusion or anything. But so far, I'd say everything's trucking along, going great. I have another CT scan coming up in a couple weeks here, on the 23rd, which today is the 12th. So, you always get nervous before a CT scan, due to not knowing what to expect. From my pain being completely gone in December, it feels like my chest pain definitely came back. Uh, Not to the point where I'm screaming in pain like I was, where I had to keep on pain medication, but here and there I take a pain pill, because the pain gets pretty bad. And I do not like taking pain pills. It makes you drugged up, and I do not like that feeling. Um, yeah, so that's where we're at right now. We're in March 12th. Um, Doing fine. I just had chemo on last Monday. I have it again in 2 days on Monday. Today's Saturday. Last Monday, kind of was rough. Chemo. Um, they only give me one chemo now. They switched that couple chemos back. They took away Gemzar, because my numbers were tanking and weren't coming back up. So I only received carboplatin and Keytruda. Keytruda is a new immunotherapy that has like really, really good results. So we just gotta see where that goes and how my body reacts to it. My oncologist seems doubtful he'll be able to keep me on this regimen. He thinks that my numbers are going to start tanking due to it being so much chemo since October. So there's all different types of plans, like as far as chemo and immunotherapy and other options, if my numbers stop coming up. But this one, my numbers are okay. But he just decided to take the Gemzar out completely. He said quality over quantity. So, I guess. So, and then, so now, like last week, I got carboplatin and Keytruda, and then this Monday coming up, I'll just get Keytruda, which has no side effects. So I should be fine. So it's kind of like I have 1 week on and 2 weeks off because I don't have to get chemo, that much chemo anymore. If depending on the CT scan is if he changes that plan or how things go, you gotta go from there and look and see what's going on. I'm hoping the chest pain coming back is nothing. It's just whatever nerves or something. I'm not sure, but um, happy things are, baby. Happy things are we are going to go to Mall of America on the 21st to the 22nd and then come back on the 23rd to see the results. But we're excited because I never traveled really before. So we're going to drive, me and my husband, all the kids. We're going to drive to the Mall of America, which is only a 5-hour drive. So it's not that far. I'm excited. I never seen it. It's something I wanted to check off, things I've always wanted to do. So lots of travels in the future. I want to go to Florida. I want to go to South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. Lots of places to go and enjoy with the kids. Anyways, I thought I'd just get on here and tell everyone my journey, see if anybody else is in this journey. I should say, or I should have said this in the beginning, I am triple negative. If anybody doesn't know what triple negative is, it is they do a biopsy of the tumor and they see what kind of tumor it is, I guess. Some of them are hormone driven, some of them are not. Mine is not hormone driven, so it's called triple negative. You can look more into that. I'm not a genius at it exactly, but it's triple negative, which is a very aggressive type of cancer, as well as it's triple negative. Grade 3. It's like a foreign language. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Grade 3 is the fastest moving or fastest growing, in, I guess. So, so far, nothing, just crickets. So I am glad we're, staying where we are, and hopefully I get even better news at this next CT scan. So I'm very hopeful that I will go into a remission again. Because if I could do it the first time, even though my oncologist says I did not beat it and the first time the chemo didn't work, I I went to remission for 4 years, so it could happen again. He says it won't happen again, but he can't tell. He can't say what's going to happen to you. Nobody can. It's it's how your body responds to chemo, and yeah. So yeah, so I'm not sure. I guess that's it. I will see you probably. I'll try to update this on Monday, and maybe when I'm in chemo, I will record something to start my journey, because I just been watching a lot of YouTubers going through with their cancer journeys and thought, hey, I should do the same thing, if it's just for family and friends and my kids to watch, or we can look back on and say, oh my gosh, look what you've been through. I wish I would have did this the first time I went through it, but I didn't, because everything, like I said, happened so fast. But now I'm on it. Oops. So, okay, I'll see you. I guess I'll make another video on Monday.